I would like to call on Rabbi Machlis to come and say a few words. Rabbi Machlis was a close friend and Chavruta with Yaakov for over 35 years. I'm privileged and honored to invite Rabbi Machlis to say a few words.
I'd like to publicly thank Ruthie and the Mishpacha for allowing me to share some thoughts about the great Niftar. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu bless the esteemed Ruthie with every form of happy and healthy bracha. And may the entire beloved Mishpacha, children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, only experience henceforth the brachot of Hashem, Yishuv Hadat, Almei Menuchot, B'Shefa Elyon, B'Ruchaniyut V'Gashmiyut. Amen. My connection to Rabbi Yaakov, as Ruthie mentioned, we were close for many, many years, tens of years, more than 35 years, maybe 37 years. And in many areas of my life, I consider him to be a teacher and a guide, even beyond a friend and a chavruta. When we first came to Eretz Yisrael, when Hen and I were privileged to move here, within the first few months, God arranged that I should meet this great person. And I learned so much from him over the years. I loved the way he spoke to people. One of the first times that I was in the Fogelman home, within a few months after we came on Aliyah, Yaakov was dealing with a very troubled person. A person who Yaakov was kind enough to direct to our home, and we got to know him very well afterwards. And I learned from Rabbi Yaakov the level of patience, the level of love, the level of tolerance, the level of understanding. And it made a very deep impression upon my being. I've seen many Sukkot in my life, Baruch Hashem. But he's the first person who showed me, when I came, I think it was the first Sukkot we were here, he invited me to the house, and he showed me the sukkah. And then he showed me another sukkah. And then he showed me a third sukkah, and a sukkah upstairs, and a sukkah downstairs, and a sukkah on the porch, and a sukkah for resting, and for sleeping, for eating, and for hosting. It never left my mind. It could be there are many thousands of people who have such sukkot, but he's the one that taught me that. Not by something he taught, but he showed it to me. The natural habitat of living in a sukkah. Mamash living in a sukkah, not somewhere that you have a meal for a few hours and you leave. He taught me how to move into a sukkah. When I visited with him on Chanukah, so most people, I think even till today, they have a menorah. We have Chanukah coming up in about a month. So you light the candles. Where do you light the candles? Outside, inside, near the window, near the door. So he shows me the menorah, and I guess similar to the sukkah, he shows me another menorah, and another menorah, and a menorah in this window, and a menorah in that window, and upstairs menorah, downstairs menorah, outside menorah. And I said, I never saw this. I tried to learn. I tried to learn the laws of Chab. I never heard of this. There's a discussion in the Gemara, there's a discussion in Shulchan Aruch. You have two petachim. What is this? He says, where does it say you should have only one menorah? Where does it say such a thing? He says, the more light, the more blessing, bringing Persumei Nisa. He was a very, very original thinker. As we heard, I'm sorry I walked in late, so maybe some of the things that I'm going to say were said before. I apologize. He had a very, very original approach to life. And anybody that ever visited with him in the top center, anybody ever saw the way he went over to people in the street and indulged them in conversation, it was so, so beautiful. Such a deep level of ahavat habiriyot, of really loving people and caring about people and speaking to people and breaking down barriers and opening up people's hearts to each other. We learned together. I think the topic that we learned the most, we learned many, many topics together over the years. I think there were years where we learned every single day Rambam in Yad HaChazakah and Mishneh Torah. He had such an excitement, such an enthusiasm, such a vigor, such energy. Whatever we studied, it didn't matter where, what. It could have been a topic that he had reviewed many, many times. I felt this energy, this unparalleled level of excitement. And then, I was privileged to study the teaching of the Baal Shem Tov, either from the Baal Shem Tov himself, or from one of his disciples. In Pirkei Avot it says, in the Ethics of the Fathers we read, Halomed Yeled Lemahu Domeh L'diok Tuva Al Niyar Hadash Halomed Zaken Lemahu Domeh L'diok Tuva Al Niyar Mahuk. The person studying when they are very young, the person who studies as a young child is as one who writes with ink that is written on a blank, fresh, new page of paper. A new, clean slate. The person beginning to study, when he or she is an older person, is as one who writes on a paper that has been erased. Someone writing on a whiteout background. It's of course not the same. The Baal Shem Tov says, in contradistinction to the way that everybody else learns the Mishnah, I always learned it. You'll yell it as a young child. Zaken is an elderly person, and you could begin studying it at different ages. The Baal Shem Tov says it has nothing to do with your age. It has to do with your attitude. A person could be 15 years old and be a Lomed Zaken, and a person could be 95 years old and be a Lomed Yeled. Depends on how you learn. So I'd like to say that Rav Yaakov was a Lomed Yeled his whole life. I never learned with him. I never heard him teach. I never heard him learn without a Lomed. It was such an excitement. As if you'd be sitting there, as if it's the first time you ever saw this text. Let's say there's a section that he learned 100 times. It was, oh wow! Oh, look at this word! Like look at this interpretation. Did you see this shot? Did you see that? Lomed Yeled. It was ever so vibrant. It was ever so exciting. And if you ever studied with someone like this, it's one of the most beautiful forms of learning. Because as opposed to someone who, okay, I read this already. I heard it again. Parashat Ches. I learned Parashat. I know Parashat. Again Masechet. Again Hilchot. I never heard those kind of ideas. It was always Lomed Yeled until the very end of Rabbi Yaakov's life. He learned, even if it was a text that he had reviewed, studied, and even taught, and maybe even mastered numerous times, his approach was always one of Bechina, of Hayom. Hayom. B'chol yom yu be'einecha k'hadashim. In his eyes, the words of Torah were always new. Whenever he went to a lecture, I don't know the number of how many lectures he went to, but he went to many, many lectures, many shiurim. And then he would tell me about it, and he'd be so, you don't believe where I was there. Oh wow! Like you don't understand the idea that I heard. You wouldn't believe what he said, and he would repeat it with such enthusiasm. He was an enthusiast. And you would think maybe he just began studying today. It was the first time he ever heard such an interpretation. It was a great exhilaration. I wish we all had that. I wish I would have that. That was something he taught me. And it's something that I have very rarely encountered in my entire life. Yaakov ish tam yoshev ohalim. Yaakov was a perfected individual, dwelling in the tents. Tam is a difficult word to translate. I'd like to use the interpretation of Onkelos, one of the earliest translations on the Torah. Onkelos writes, Yaakov ish tam v'Yaakov gvar shalim, a person who was connected to shleimut. In all my encounters with Rabbi Yaakov, he was always striving to become a gvar shalim, a complete individual. And he understood that, as we heard from the great speaker, in order to get to the level of gvar shalim, you have to be involved in many, many disciplines, in many, many areas. Yaakov was looking for perfection. Perfection of character, perfection of behavior, perfection of understanding. V'Yaakov ish tam yoshev ohalim. Yaakov Avinu, our father Yaakov, dwelled not in a tent. It says by Sarah, Hine ba'ohel. Not ba'ohel, not yoshev ba'ohel. Yaakov ish tam Yoshev Ohalim, Lashon Rabim, plural. He dwelled in tents. Rashi comments, based on Rashic sources, which tents? Ahalo shel Shem, ve'ahalo shel Ever. Shem had his institute of study. Ever had his institute of study. The question is, why did he have to go to both? Shem was the great-grandfather of Ever. Could he not just study in the Ohel of Shem? Perhaps Yaakov Avinu understood, as did our beloved Rabbi Yaakov, that maybe there's great wisdom in Ahalo Shel Shem, and even though he's much older than Ever, there's great wisdom in elderly people, but there's also great wisdom in Ever, not only in Shem. The Maharal Prague explains in his commentary, Gur Hayeh, that Yaakov knew that indeed, he could learn a great deal from Shem, and Shem had the earlier access to the tradition, but there was also something exceptional, not only in the elderly Shem, but in the younger Ever, a different type of wisdom. A wisdom of Shem and a wisdom of Ever. Yoshev Ohalim, Lashon Rabim. Yaakov Avinu wanted to be in many Ohalim. Rabbi Yaakov Fogelman also strove to be in the Beit Midrash Shel Shem, but also in the Beit Midrash Shel Ever. I was often awestricken how he so deeply respected teachers, lecturers, rabbis and rebbes who were younger than him, and often, in my opinion, much less learned than him. Why is he going to Ahalo Shel Ever? He could be delivering the lecture. He's sitting in the back row, and he's listening to Ahalo Shel Shem and Ahalo Shel Ever. Because Yaakov Avinu understood the importance of Ohalim, and Yaakov Fogelman understood the importance of Ohalim. As one of the greatest in the commentaries, Rav David Kimchi, the Radak writes on the Pasuk, Yaakov ish tam yoshev ohalim, says the Radak, v'yamar ohalim, Lashon Rabim, quote, Ki haya lomed im kol chacham shaya motzeh. Because Yaakov was so thirsty for knowledge, Yaakov Avinu was so interested in learning. Oh, Alim, anybody had wisdom to share, he was there. He was there. Hayam Motzei, im kol chacham shayam Motzei, im zeh, v'im zeh, ki kol hefzo, hayam bazeh. Yaakov Avinu strove to be an Ohalim. Yaakov Fogelman followed the pathway of his namesake. Yaakov Avinu was a Tam. Yaakov Fogelman was a Tam. The Netziv writes in his commentary, Ha'amek Davar, the Tam means that Yaakov Avinu was straightforward. Quote, Masha bepiv, kach bilibo. That which he said was that which he was feeling in his heart. Hu tamir, that's what Tam means. Einon nehelak l'shnayim. Not a two-faced individual. Omer ko v'libo ko. Not that he says one thing and he thinks another. What he said, that's really what was happening. I had many discussions with Rabbi Yaakov about his parasha sheets. And I suggested to him on many occasions, I said, Rabbi Yaakov, I love you. And I love what you write. And I respect what you write. And I understand what you write. Maybe you should write it a little bit more diplomatically. Maybe you should cushion your remarks. Say the same thing, the same messages, but just rewrite it. Rewrite it. Say it in a roundabout fashion. Say it, don't directly criticize people. Let them get the gist of the message. I told him, you may be alienating people. You may be causing people that they won't want to read your sheets. I won't mention the name of the place. I ask anyone who knows, please not to mention it. It was one of the places that we learned together. They sent a message that they don't want him to come there anymore. Very, very painful story for me. Don't want him to come in. We're learning. We were sat and we learned. They didn't want him there because of something that he had written in one of his teachings. I said, Yaakov, you have such great messages. Just, if you can't do it yourself so that other people can help you, Yaakov was an Ishtam. An Ishtam doesn't play these games. An Ishtam, there are 32 teeth in a normally developed mouth. 32 is a lave. A person is not supposed to be a had bapeh, a had balev. You have to have a lave in your lave. You have to have 32 lave in your mouth. Is that what's right? Maybe you have to lave. No, that's not what I know. But each time, mutman im anashim, mashe bepiv kach belibo. And this was at a certain expense. Most people wouldn't do that. He was wise enough. He was learned enough. But he had such an inner drive, as you mentioned, for Titena Metli Yaakov. I'm not going to write it in a different way. I want my point to be heard. I want it to be understood. If people want to react, let them react. They have something to say, let them say it. And he maintained that which must be said, even if it's not popular. He vehemently opposed the idea of achat bapeh, achat balev. And whenever I would speak to him about making the same point in some kind of, I didn't use the term, but politically correct fashion, where everyone will be able to read your sheets, and everyone will take them into their homes, and everybody will buy your pamphlets, and everybody will see your website and your... He refused. Yaakov Ishtam. I was privileged to meet Rabbi Yaakov very close to the time that Henny and I were privileged to move to Eretz Yisrael. For me, on some level, Rabbi Yaakov Fogelman represented the concept of Torah Eretz Yisrael. In several of his writings, Rav Kook tries to explain what's the difference between Torah Bavel and Torah Eretz Yisrael. Many people, I think, students of Gemara would say, Torah Bavel is the Torah you study outside of Israel, and Torah Eretz Yisrael is the Torah you study in Israel. Yeah. That's not what Rav Kook wrote. In several places, in his letters, in his Ma'amarim, Rav Kook maintained that Torah Eretz Yisrael is not just a different locale, a different geographical location. It's a different way of learning. It's a different form of study. Rav Kook writes, Ma'amarei Hariyah, you could read it other places, that the all-encompassing Torah, the Torah that includes all of the disciplines, that's Torah Eretz Yisrael. And the Torah that's tzimtzum, the Torah which is only a narrow understanding of the text or of the subject, the constricted form of learning, that's Torah Chutz La'aretz. As Rav Kook writes, forgive me for quoting it in its original Hebrew, Reshit Avodatah Shel Torah Eretz Yisrael tzricha liot mechuvenet biyuchud להסיר את הבוריות של החלק המדעי והפנימי שבתורה. זהו החלק הנשגב של כל ענייני הלב, התלוי ברגשות, בדעות, באמונות. תוכן האגדה, המוסר, המחקר, הקבלה, החסידות, ההיסטוריה, הפילוסופיה, הפיוט, עם כל צדדיהם הרבים והשונים. Everything you can imagine is part of Torah Eretz Yisrael. There is nothing beyond the levels of Torah Eretz Yisrael. Whenever I spoke to Rabbi Yaakov, when I saw the books in his library, when I would walk with him, when I would encounter him, there was a real sense of Torah Eretz Yisrael. And it didn't matter where the person was coming from, it didn't matter who the lecturer was, and they could pretend to be externally as alienated from what would be considered normative tradition. Rabbi Yaakov saw some kind of connection to Torah Eretz Yisrael. And if he was going to a concert, that was, I'm going to I said, I'm teaching. No, come to this. You wouldn't believe the presentation. Wow, the music. And if he would go to hear some kind of recital, and he would go to hear some kind of, and he would travel from university to university, from place to place, from synagogue to synagogue. I miss him. I miss his being. I miss his Torah Eretz Yisrael. Because I don't know many people like that. I know people who have one understanding. That's true that Rabbi Yaakov was very close to our salvation for a long time. But his expansive understanding, the eclectic Rabbi Yaakov, I miss this aspect of his being. I miss his warmth. I miss his originality. I miss his counsel. I miss his guidance. Our rabbis teach, Yaakov Avinu lo met. Our father Yaakov. The word Vayama does not appear with Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov Avinu lo met. In a certain sense, all the great people here, all the great members of the Mishpacha, each one in his or her own way, Mazaro b'chayim, Afu b'chayim, each one learning, gleaning a message from Rav Yaakov's life. Rav Amiel, the former Rav Rashi of Tel Aviv, writes that the only two parshiot of the Torah that have the word life in them seem to deal with the opposite of life. One of them is this week's parasha, Hayei Sarah, the life of Sarah. So if you make it beyond the first sentence, the second sentence is talking about Batamat Sarah. She passes away. So what kind of Hayei Sarah? And the only other parasha of the Torah that's called by the name of life is Parashat Hayei, Vayechi, Parashat Vayechi, the last parasha of Sefer Bereshit. Vayechi Yaakov. So you think it'll be dealing with the life of Yaakov. Next sentence, right? Vayikruvu Yimei Yisrael Lamut. Because tzadikim b'mitatan. Because those people who are righteous, even beyond their life, Kriyim Chayim, may we live to see together the fulfillment of the prophecy of Yeshayahu. V'galti b'Yerushalayim, v'sasti b'ami, v'lo yishama ba'od, kol b'chi, v'kol za'aka, tehi nishmatot tzura, tzura chayim.